One day a man knocked on my door and asked me if I would like to be mayor, and didn't know what mayor was actually. Never involved in government, just a guy that went to work and came home, and I said, what a country. Somebody actually thinks you could be mayor.
Welcome back, and we're talking to Minneola Mayor David Yeager, who's running for his third term. For those of you who spent any time around David, you know he's a character. He's always promoting Minneola, and he always has his voice heard. David, why are you such a character?
It's not to be a character, it's just that's the way I am, and it seems that it's kind of like when I run for office, I never get to walk into office. It seems like I always have someone that is always against me because of thinking a different direction.
Well, yesterday, in fact,
okay,
you went up in a helicopter and you actually helped the dream of a young boy come true. And that's something a mayor wouldn't go out of his way to do. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I got the call, and the call was, hey, this Mr. Sutherland flew into East Ridge, and there was a big hoopla about it, and called me and said, hey, would you even talk to this guy? And I said, yeah. So he called me up and said, here's what I want to do. I want to fly into Grassy Lake, and can you put it together, or would you put it together? And I said, absolutely. So I got with the landowner, I got with the sheriff's department, I got with the principal and advisor. We're doing this. Didn't really get, yes, you can do this, because it wasn't on the school property, and it went well. Obviously, some people don't think it went so well, but it was a dream of a son. The older son got to do it, and the younger son wanted to do it, and now I think the girl wants to do a hot air balloon. But again, if there was a lot of controversy about it, but I don't think it's a story. I don't think it's a news story at all. It's about what we serve the people, and they don't even live in the town. They live in Bella Collina. But the reality is, if someone calls, you try to serve them.
Well, I'll be the first to tell you that I think you're good for the city, and I think your heart's in the right place. But you and I have disagreed on this one issue, and we've talked about it many times, so I'll ask you now. Do you really think an indoor ski slope in Minneola has a snowball's chance of becoming reality?
Well, first of all, Minneola, a couple years ago, when I started off, we have snow day. And when we started off, we started real slow. And last year we had 3,000 people coming from all over Florida for snow day. And so, one, I think anything's possible. Anything could happen, one. Two, you really need to look out of the box, because we're going to have a turnpike entrance on Turnpike. It'll be a full interchange. We have the number 5 golf course in the country. We have hills. And there's 17 million people who go to Walt Disney World every year. 6 million go to Universal, 6 million go to SeaWorld. And what happens is, I only need 1 million to stop at my indoor downhill skiing on the side of the highway. And we can't compete with Orange County with economic development. They're given $31 million incentive packages. If you look what Dot Richardson did as far as the economic development, as far as this is a quality place to live. And if you bring people in here to spend their money and leave, that's great. Quality living. Wouldn't it be nice that you go to a realtor and say, I want to live in Minneola, but you can't live in Minneola because there's a waiting list to buy a home? What that does is all the homes are all sold out, and you have to wait to move into Minneola. And that could happen. And yes, indoor downhill skiing, they're doing one in North Carolina called U-Ski 365, because everybody said, well, they do it in Dubai. Well, they have tons of money. Well, I don't think it's about tons of money. I think it's about looking out of the box and making it happen. And I need 1 million people a year, and I know 1 million people a year go by our exit when it opens up.
Okay, but what about the parimutuel and the gaming facility?
The parimutuel, first of all, needs to be a referendum in the county. Lake County has never had any parimutuel. You can't have another parimutuel within 100 air miles unless it is quarter horse. There's an exclusion in the state law that says quarter horse can happen. And there again, I don't gamble, but the deal is it is a cash cow. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania was a city that lost its steel plants, and they started one, and yes, it is a cash cow for the city. It's not everybody's preference, I understand that, but again, put it out to the people. If they say no, it's no forever. This is a one-shot deal. If it goes out, it costs $400,000, it's a standalone election, and it's not what I want, it's what the people want, and the people say yes, so be it.
What would the economic impact of that be, though?
Well, they said there's the bad parts and the good parts. I can tell you that we have the villages send 5 busloads a week over to the Hard Rock. We have other communities that actually have bus tours to go over there. And I think the economic development, as far as in my vision, and this is all in my mind, you could have a 3,000-seat Bob car. Wouldn't it be nice not to go to Orlando to see a good show? Wouldn't it be nice to have an NHL hockey team that's struggling in Tampa, bring them to the center of the state, and you have people coming from both sides to see hockey. And again, we have floor hockey that's very successful. And I remember about 8 years ago, some gentlemen came in front of council, and the council laughed at them, like, why would we have floor hockey? Well, there was a young man that just passed away. They had a funeral in town. He was in the service, and he got killed in Iraq. And he was trained by one of these coaches, and the influence and what these coaches got from these young men and through this program. So programs aren't bad. You need to take care of the children, and I think all this fits together. And it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not. But the pari-mutuel is very touchy, but on the other part is if you let the people speak and they say no, it's no.
What are some of the other options? If we're looking for economic development, what are some of the other options aside from a gaming facility?
Well, the gaming facility is probably the core of what you need because of everything is so expensive. The downhill skiing, we have the best triathlon in the whole country. We have all the other economic development in South Lake County. If you add that, you add a downhill triathlon, mountain biking is getting very popular. We're the second highest in the state of Florida. That's a good thing. Number 5 golf course in the country. That's a good thing. Right now we have 4,000 acres of nothing, not generating any revenue. There's nothing going on, and we have everything right here in quality of life. The last thing you want to do is put a factory there.
Okay. Today's interview is being held at Sanctuary Ridge Golf Course, and our host is the South Lake Kiwanis. And when we come back, it's their turn to ask Mayor Yeager their questions. So we'll be right back.